Good day and welcome back to the channel. Before we get on to today's adventure, let's grab our favorite pair of sunnies. Yep, those ones. Oh, quick distraction here. That is pretty. Oh, and that dog, super cute. Now let's go grab a trailer and get on with today's adventure. Alright, so with the tie downs checked, Eva topped off to a reasonable amount of fuel. Let's head off that general direction and go see what kind of trouble we can get into with the JoyT5 boys. Ho ho ho! What do we have here in the middle of the driveway? Looks to be one of their new 1.2 or 1.5 tons little machines here. Really digging on that blue. That looks good. Look at this cute little dude. Absolutely adorable. Can't wait to check this out a little more. But I don't think that's why we're here today. Alright, now that we're all parked up here at the JoyT5 compound or yard or delivery area or whatever you'd like to call it. Beautiful place, by the way. Let's show you what we're actually up to today. So as you can see, Eva's sitting there looking super pretty. God, I love that color and I love that truck. But getting distracted. So this is the reason we're here. So this is just a standard skid steer tooth bucket, which would mean there's a skid steer around. Yes, no, maybe? There is. If we look over here, right there, that one right there, that track steer unit, we're going to do a part 2 to the initial demonstration video of that machine, answer some questions that were in the comments, as well as show that it can use universal attachments on other buckets. Do some pushing, do some lifting, do some digging, all around, show what that machine can actually do. So let's get this untied and get to it. So just a quick thing I noticed, and I actually really like this, is this sticker here on this Bradco bucket. Look at that. Call before you dig, man. That is one of the biggest things. Just call before you dig, do your locates, know what's underneath you, and then do your project. Yes, it can take up to 2 weeks, but it's better to know, because I've heard that fines are up to $50,000 Canadian if you hit a utility line. So, something to think about, but neat to see they put it on the back of the bucket as a reminder to everybody around and the operator. I like that. Alright, so this is where the video gets a little different than what I'd normally do, stand behind a camera and show you something. Unfortunately, I cannot be in 2 places at once. I cannot film and do the demonstration that we did with JoyT5 on the Rippa track steer. So that being said, sorry, it's still pictures, but we're going to talk about some things here and answer some questions, again, in a more direct fashion, if you will, from my perspective as well. One of the questions was price point. First and foremost, I will never talk price point. Personally, that's not my gig. That's not my realm. Talk to JoyT5, Arcady, and the guys there, or one of the Rippa dealers. They will talk price with you. I will not. The dump height or the arm height. Now, that is a bit of a strange animal. When you look at this machine, particularly from the side profile here, you'll notice that the floor is flat and the cab is quite elevated compared to your conventional machine where you're sitting in a more of a well when you enter from the front. I believe that plays a bit of a visual deception when it comes to how high this machine actually lifts the arm and the bucket. With the cab being that much more pronounced and that much taller, it might look like the arm is not reaching that high. Now, I did fail to measure it. Again, I can't be 2 places at once. I feel you could easily stick this into the side of an end dump. and be good to go that way. But yeah, without measuring it, which again we should have done, and I'm sorry I didn't, or we didn't. We'll machine's still there. We'll have to do that and get that bit of information for the customers or for you guys there. Another thing was the side boom. How does the side boom function versus a standard twin boom system? Um, with every machine, I think there's a bit of play in every arm system. It is a vertical lift system, so it will not um, protrude forward as you raise the bucket and then actually start to taper back as you get to the top of the swing. It stays like a forklift on the same path in front of the cab, um, which to me is beneficial. It's that's really all to say about it. Like, yeah, it's got some play in it, and it's not the most rigid thing in the world, but none of them are. I really feel like this is a technology or something, a design, sorry, not a technology, a design that could use a little bit of improvement. Nothing's perfect, but I really do like it for the sheer visibility and the ease of getting in and out of the cab. To me, crawling over a bucket and opening a door is just inviting trouble. Um, and it's a good way to get hurt. I've done snow removal, I've done some landscaping, I've done some gravel pushing with them, and I find it very, very irritating to have to stand on the bucket lip, grab the door, swing it open, get in. The door hits you on the way back in if the shock's not good enough, or the strut isn't good enough, and those front doors, they're expensive. They're exclusive to each brand. This just gets around so many of those issues that conventional machines have, all while still being able to do typical track steer work. Um, Now, that kind of brings up work. Where does this machine fit in to the workplace? Well, while I am impressed with the 2.8 liter Cummins, I think that's a great feature on them. And with this being a 2-speed now, um, something we learned, I really think there is a place for it. I really do feel, though, that this is still an entry to mid-level machine, um, with your other brands being more top tier, but their price points reflect that. And again, I'm going to stay away from price points with this particular machine. I just know those machines cost significantly more, and that's all I can say on it. Um, do I feel it's cheaply built like everybody fears with the imported stuff? No, I really do feel there is some concrete building there, and that's important. It does feel well put together. There are a few things here and there that would be nice to have trimmed up, or little things, but that's with everything. There is nothing, again, that is perfect. You can get a brand new high end other manufacturer machine and still have little things you look at and go, wow, I really would like to change that, or wow, why didn't they put a bolt here, or why isn't there a plastic cover on this, what am I paying for? You can get that with anything, um, with any machine, any vehicle. It's anything nowadays. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It does, one of the things that I like to think of is, does it have work site presence? Now, to most people, this isn't a thing. They don't care. To me, it's one of those things that it's it helps your company stand out. And without being like, hey, our machines are painted fluorescent pink and our logos are done in chrome lettering or whatever. And nothing against people that have that. More power to you. I'd love to see more custom colors on things. And I like the fact that companies are starting to do some more intricate company logos and decaling. I think that's great. So we'll put that down and carry on. It does. I do feel this machine does have worksite presence. I do feel that it would garner attention when it shows up on the back of your flat deck, your dump trailer, whatever you have to get it to site. I do feel that it would definitely raise some questions and get some of that interaction going between the customer and the owner or operator, because they do look so different. Now, that being said, though, that's just my opinion. Other people might look at it and go, well, that's ugly. Well, and that's fine. Not everything is meant to be pretty. And I'm not talking about pretty. I'm talking about worksite presence. Will you notice this machine? Will it get seen? I feel it will. And I feel that can be a positive with this machine. Another thing to bring up is stability. With the cab being up that high, stability. Does it feel unstable? And the answer is no. Yeah, I didn't feel that it's unstable. Now, that being said, with the demonstration videos or the walk around videos, however you want to call them, we do use more conservative, well, not use, we do, how to say it, we do, I tend to operate them in a more conservative way because they are new and we want the customer to receive a new machine when they purchase it. We don't test them flat out, ripping around like a goon, doing things. To be respectful to the person that purchases it, we also try not to put a bunch of hours on it because, again, you wouldn't want to purchase a new vehicle with a bunch of kilometers on it. It's kind of the same thing. We still want to have that new machine, new feel for you when you purchase the machine from them. So, did I push it? No. Did I ask it to work? Yes. Was I impressed? Yes, I was. You'll have to refer to their demo video on that about how that all went down and what it looked like. Yeah, like it's a good, like I say, it's a good entry to mid-level machine in my opinion. Your opinion probably will vary. And really, for a new operator, I think this would be the way to go. Simply based on visibility and the familiarity that you get from this cab to and to an excavator cab. It's very, very nice to have all that room in the cab, not feel like you're stuck between the frame rails, and be able to look over both shoulders and look down and see what you're doing. Seeing the bucket edge or the attachment edge is effortless in this machine, which is, again, very nice because you're not stuck behind it in a well. Then you got the air ride seat jacked up. Now, that could just be a me problem because, I'm not 6'2", but, I think that it's something to consider, as well as it being not overpowered to the point where it can hurt itself, or that a new operator might be able to hurt it in a major way. Not saying that you can't put it on its lid, because, try hard enough and you can put anything on its lid. Just saying, I think it's more suited to new or beginner operators, which, hey, we've all been there. There's no shame in that. You got to start somewhere. And this, to me, would be a good platform to start on, and then work to the other machines, the higher horsepower, your 120 horsepower machines with the twin arm setup, so on and so forth. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on this machine. So before I get too far off track here, which I know we're getting to, and this is getting pretty long in the tooth to be staring at still pictures that just rotate through, I'd like to circle back to, does this machine fit into the workplace? And to me, the answer is absolutely yes. It does. It has a place. I feel its place is smaller operations, do your snow removal, some light grading. I feel this machine would be good for a 6-way blade or a 4-way blade in front of it, and to do a lot of finishing work that way. Pallet forks, I think would be a good addition to this machine. That'd be a good home for it. You got your like your acreage lifestyle type thing, your small hobby farm or small farm operation, as well as things like nurseries or smaller material yards, such as like a small gravel yard or a small landscape supply yard or company. I really feel that's where this machine would shine. Could you spend long days in this machine? I feel you could. I don't think any of us operators want to spend a long day in a piece of equipment. I believe we all like to get out and stretch our legs, so on and so forth, but we don't always get that opportunity. That being said, you could, well, I feel you could put, a good 12-hour day in the machine and not feel too absolutely beat to a pulp, just like some of the other machines. Another thing I wanted to touch on here quickly was the joysticks. They are very responsive, and it's very effortless to utilize them. Some machines, they get your hands get fatigued from pushing on them with the amount of force that you need to get the machine to do what you want it to do. This machine doesn't. It's pretty sensitive. Joysticks are light. They're easy to use. The positioning with the seat and that in the cab is nice. It's all right. So I'm going to cut myself off. For me, it's comfortable. Again, this is getting long the tooth to stare at still pictures, so on and so forth, with this kind of different take on doing the Rippa track steer. At the end of the day, it's going to be a decent machine for somebody that's a small business starting out, or looking to just add something that's used maybe not every day, but 3 times a week kind of thing, and looking for something that's simple to use and will always start when you turn the key. Like that Cummins, that's what it's going to do. It's going to start for you. It's going to go to work. It's going to do its thing. So while we're at this point, a big shout out to Kotar Kennels for allowing us to use that Bradco bucket and do the demonstration that we did with JoyT5. So massive shout out to them. They have supported myself in many ways, and I know in the future they're going to continue to support me and what I do, and I appreciate them. So much love to them. And well, we're gonna wrap it up there. We'll call her good. So thanks for watching. Sorry again, this is a long one. It's a lot of rambling. It's kind of blah blah blah, so on and so forth. Let's call her a day. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.